The end of the world came not with a bang, but with the exhalation of the crypt door. Unseen by human eyes, a haggard hand ushered in the night of the open grave, where the dead walked the streets once more. Cold spirits found new life within warm bodies, and monsters of legend and myth stalked openly in the world. The cryptids had awoken. All were doomed to join the dead. Until humanity discovered one more truth. Magic flourished in the dead of night. With their new strength, they pushed back their extinction. Each day is now a survival among monsters of the crypt. We now tell the tale of one such seaside community. 5 near strangers are about to be woven into a dark and sinister plot with only their magic to save them. Will they survive the shadows of Point Pleasant?
I'm Jeffrey N. Baker, your crypt keeper for today's little chilling tale, Shadows of Point Pleasant. We first start on the east coast of New Jersey, Point Pleasant. The salty ocean waves lap against the barnacle-covered pylons of Jenkins Boardwalk, an amusement park. Seagulls squawk and attempt mad dashes to steal hot dogs from the few patrons who care to come out to this once flourishing attraction. The roar of motorcycle engines, arcade machines, and a sad roller coaster punch the afternoon air. We see a thick-chested man with a well-trimmed mustache glower at workers raising a banner that reads, 25th Annual Patriots Day Parade. Our players for tonight. We will begin with Justin.
Hello everyone, I'm Justin and I'm going to be playing Vincenzo Garibaldi. You see an individual wearing kind of scuffed up denim overalls with a vintage and distressed, naturally distressed, wasn't bought that way, I can assure you that, New Jersey Devils or Hellcats hockey jersey underneath. And they are sporting a sort of mullet where it's just kind of long on top or like shaggy on the top and in the middle, but sort of cropped pretty close on the sides, and then kind of goes a little bit past the shoulders in the back. Thick mustache, and there's some like pins and buttons and all kinds of strange accoutrement all over the pair of overalls, with these like trying to be as nice as possible. You could tell that they've been recently cleaned or like are constantly upkept, but these like retro pair of high top sneakers that are red and white. And Vinny the Mouth is currently looking in garbage cans for like half smoked cigarette butts.
Our camera is sitting there on Vinny, and it swings over to Neassa.
Hello, I am Neassa, and I will be playing Coral May Millions. Coral is kind of in her nebulous 60s, maybe 70s. She'll never tell. But she's this kind of like older woman with like long wavy hair in a braid, and she is standing in front of her crystal shop, Coral's Crystals, which I'm assuming is somewhere on the boardwalk.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep, and she is probably smoking like a hand-rolled cigarette and yearning for the days where you just buy a cigarette.
Yes, in this post Night of the Open Grave, some of these things are a little bit harder to get than normal. It is. We're looking at Coral May, looking out of the boardwalk, smoking, and we swing over to Colin.
Hello, I am Colin. I'm going to be playing Benjamin James Gideon IV, the son of Mayor Gideon. He, starting from top to bottom, long black hair that he slicks back to a point where it almost touches the collar of his 90s era, just overly big suit. That's just gray. It's he's very fashion forward, but as a politician's son, has to keep it very dull. Sharp features on his face where it almost looks like, as he's gazing out into the crowd around him, very predator looking, like he's looking for something wrong, because this is how well this goes, how well Patriot Day goes, is a pretty good representation of how well his family's doing running the town.
You are watching the crowd, and we swing on over to Christina.
I'm Christina. I'll be playing Gavin Newstead. They are kind of a smaller person and just wrapped up tight in a hoodie. And the hood is up, and they're just kind of hands in pockets, shuffling along, looking to see if they can buy some food for a few bucks on the boardwalk.
You shuffle along, and our camera pushes past you to our certainly favorite character. I'm sure it's going to be Kay.
Hey guys, I'm Kay. I will be playing Ace Owens. He's in his mid-20s, shaggy black hair, oversized band t-shirt and baggy jeans with some black and white sneakers on. The one thing you will always find him with is his backpack. You never know what's in it, but if you need something, that's probably there. And he's just kind of leaning on the boardwalk, looking out into the ocean.
All right. And these are our characters for Shadows of Point Pleasant. Ace, you're sitting there looking out when you hear this metal starts to bend. You flip around, and as the workers were trying to raise up the sign, one of the metal struts is starting to bend. Benjamin, your dad, the man we saw at the very beginning with the nice trimmed mustache, he's this small-waisted but big-chested, about 6 feet, also with the black hair, but it's starting to get that steely gray in the temples. If any of you see Benjamin next to Mayor Gideon III, you definitely can tell that this is Benjamin's father. Benjamin, he has you by his left side, and that's starting to happen. The men and women trying to raise this sign, because it's of course, spare no expense. It's got to be the biggest thing for Patriots Day Parade. Mayor Gideon is known just for how much he puts into this parade and this huge celebration. There is a bit of a scuttlebutt in town that thinks a lot of the town's taxes are being spent way too much. There's too much allocated to this parade that only happens once a year. A lot of other parts of the town could be using this money, but it goes to this. And this sign is just one of those things. It's too big for the space, right, that it's in. It's a 95 feet, about 30, 40 feet. It's just huge. And those is starting to bend. And Mayor Gideon's, somebody get that, stop that, you! And he grabs Ben, do something! You got that magic ship, go! and he starts pushing you forward. You all at some point can see this thing starting to bend and twist as it's people below her.
As he's about, Father. Oh.
Yeah, he's just like pushing you forward.
All right. I think just because he's only just come back from school, is magic still isn't his first like go-to nature of just like, yeah, I'm gonna use magic to. He's going to try and run out and try to grab a rope or something to try and help.
All right. Ben tears across the opening lane. It's like the boardwalk has had a lot of those metal like stanchions set up to kind of separate things out. So you have to like push through those to get to one of those ropes and scramble towards it. Who else would like to help with this situation?
I think Ace sees Ben going for a rope and is like, well, this is the way we're doing it. This is the way we're doing it. And runs and also tries to grab the rope.
Okay. Boom. You both grab onto a rope. Trying to pull this sign is huge. Your feet start dragging across. Would anybody else like to jump in and help?
Absolutely not. This is hilarious.
That's such a valid response. I think Vinny like pulls as this like chaos is happening and like intense action cuts away to Vinny, who just yanks a cigarette butt out of a rat's hands and is like, give me that. Ah, shit. Okay. And I'm gonna try and does it look like there's anybody who, if this sign fell, that it would like fall on top of?
Oh, a bunch of people. It's
okay.
Because that sign is so huge and fluttering down. It's gonna be like, are people necessarily gonna die? Maybe not, but some people are gonna get injured. It's a huge canvas.
Well, now I feel bad.
Yeah.
Like, people are in the way. This thing's huge. There are probably some people, more or less, that are in danger of getting hit by the metal strut. That's more, because it's those two things on either side. Those are what are starting to twist.
If it's possible, I think I would like to try and, like, from a distance, maybe across the street or wherever, like, throw a hand out and try and create some sort of magical buffer so that if Benjamin and Ace fail, there's a backup plan.
Sure.
Sort of immediately going for plan B, even though these two are dedicated to plan A.
Right. What's Coral doing?
I guess, does it seem like they're doing okay on the lifting section?
That will be our first roll. So if you want to wait to Coral says, let's see how these two chuckleheads deal with on this, you could definitely just kind of hang back.
Yeah, I think so, because we're debating between throwing out a protection circle on people who are about to be hit and or just rolling up our sleeves and getting in there and trying to pull. Okay.
So this is going to be our first roll of the game between Ace and Benjamin. This is our first. It's going to be a non-magical roll. This is just your physical skills. If you have a physical skill that you think is applicable to this, so Colin, you're rolling just a straight physical roll. Ace, do you have anything? I think
my physical traits are lifting and throwing. So
I think lifting would be appropriate here, because the way I see it is like lifting is you are right, because you're kind of a beach. What are they called? Beach muscle heads or whatever.
Yeah.
Workout on the beach. So you got the power lifting kind of stuff. So how this works and how rolls work in the Crypt is open. You always roll 3 dice in this game. For the players, you build your pool based on 2 dice on your character sheet. In this case, since you're just using mundane skills, you're going to be using your human die. Your human die is always a D4. Can never increase beyond that unless you are given magical enchantments or other different preparations and things like that. So you'll pick up a D4, then you'll look at your physical trait, and you'll grab your physical die, whatever that is. D8 for Ace. What's Benjamin's physical die?
It's a D6.
All right. So you have those two. Now I set the difficulty, and this is what we call the imposition die. This is what we call it the imposition dice system. This is the die that you have to overcome. Because of the size of the sign and how, everybody else is scattering. It's just the two of you trying to, pull this rope to keep it going, hitting anybody. I'm going to call it a D10. That is the difficulty level. If you have a applicable skill, which Ace does in lifting, how many dots do you have in lifting?
2.
2 dots. That means for every dot that you have, you lower that difficulty die that many levels. So for you, your imposition goes from a D10 to a D8 to a D6. You're rolling against a D6, but poor Benjamin's rolling against a D10.
We got this.
Okay.
I believe in you, Benjamin.
I am so strong.
Now,
You are so strong.
so strong. What you're attempting to do at this point is get the 2 dice that you are from your side, your human die and your physical die. You want just the values, the individual values, to be higher than the imposition value. Then tell me the result, and we will walk through what all that means. Ace, you're the strongest. Give us your roll.
Let's see. That is a total of 6 on my human die and my physical die versus a 4.
So your human die is only a D4. So
yeah, I got a 1. I rolled a 1 on my D4, and I rolled a 5 on my D8. Which
we don't add them. We don't add them together.
Okay, cool. Then yes, I got a 5 on my D8.
Okay, against against the imposition was a
4.
4. Okay, you got a success with consequences. You are successful because your strength was higher than the imposition. You're still successful, but there is going to be some consequence to that success. Benjamin, what you got for us?
All right, so I got a for my side of things, I got a 2 and a 6, and then the other one is a 2.
Okay, so what we are playing is called meet to beat in this scenario right now. As long as either one of those dice it meets your imposition, you've beat. So you have a full success.
Thank you, Ace. It was all of you. You did all the work, and I just did the little bit of slack that was left.
So yeah, you all see as these two are able to pull that sign off to the side. It's not going to land on people. However, the consequence, the rope, as that thing's coming down, the rope ends up wrapping around one of the lights that was on the horizontal bar and pulls that off. And it comes crashing down, slams into the stage where all the fireworks were being set up. Now, how I has determined the what we call the severity of consequence is based on the unaltered imposition die value. So if you ever need to know how severe a consequence is going to be, we look at that unaltered imposition die. So that way you kind of know ahead of time before you start rolling, how bad is this going to be if I fail, or what the consequence is going to be. So D10 is pretty consequential. This light, boom, hits the fireworks. Huge spark goes off. And instantly, these fireworks just catch on. Box 1 starts, and it's starting to get into box 2 as they're starting to go off. Who would like to feel anything with what this new problem is going to be?
Is it possible to... Here's what I would like to do. I think seeing that, I'm just going to sort of take what was about to be a protective bubble, and I would
Yeah.
like to just shift it and then bubble one of the boxes of, you know how like to stop forest
Yeah.
fires you kind of create a line in
Yes.
the sand sort of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Sort of that effect.
Okay.
Except a firework thing where there's
Okay.
trying to contain
So
it.
we're gonna call this probably a creation.
Okay.
And
okay.
simulacrum. You're
Hmm.
trying to like harden the air, let's say,
Okay.
around it, so that way it's like hitting a force field in a way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or
Perfect.
you're doing something to keep that. These are pretty big, because again, Mayor Gideon was going all out. And these are huge Roman candle, just monster stuff. I'm going to call it a D8 to get the first box.
Okay.
Do you have any dots in simulacrum?
I do not.
Okay. So you can't lower the imposition.
Mhm.
However, this is another mechanic we'll introduce here. It's called stress. If you look at the middle column of your character sheet, very bottom, you'll see a stress tracker. For every point of stress you spend, you can lower the imposition. However, for every 3 points of stress you spend, every roll after that is increased by 1 die level. So the more stressed out you get, the harder things down the line become. So there's a risk reward here. You can just roll straight against it and hope for the best, but you're looking at a D8.
Okay. And then the 2 die that I would use are my creations at a D6. Right? And then spell die is the other one?
Spell die? Yes, because you're casting a spell. So everybody has a spell die, which that ranges from a D4 to a D12. All magical practitioners start the game at a D12. Or sorry, at a D6.
D6 and the D8. Oh boy. Okay.
All right. 2D6 against a D8.
Okay. Unfortunately, not great because I did roll an 8 on the 8. So, not great.
Okay.
And it's a 6 and a 3, if it matters.
6 and a 3. Okay. That is good to know because there are, you have failed.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But in this game, failure is how we gain experience. So go ahead and mark an experience point for yourself. Experience points can be used in a number of ways, not just increasing your character's abilities, but also you can spend 2 experience points to what we call create a story beat and just make something true. So if you had 2 experience points and you're like, hey, I need is there like a fire hose nearby? You could just say, I'm spending 2 experience points to run over to the fire hose that's hooked up over there. You know, those kinds of things. But you get an experience point. Also, the reason why I needed to know the actual rolls is there is a thing called bogus failures. And a bogus failure is if you roll the minimum on your other 2 dice, but a maximum on the imposition, you get 2 experience points and really bad things happen. But here we go. We're going to deal with this and then see who wants to jump in next. You go to create that bubble and you were not prepared for the strength of these things as they just blast straight through that air bubble and fireworks boom, 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 boom start going on. And it's huge, and they're not set up to like make the distance, to really, so you all feel that concussive boom, boom blast in the heat as these things are going off. Who would like to, between either Gavin or Coral, who would like to go next?
I was going to say, Coral, while not as, I would say, is about as experienced in magic as the average college senior, has been around a very long time. What would creating a coven out of everyone who's currently here, would that be anything?
Yeah, so creating coven, you would essentially increase everybody's spell die by 1 level artificially.
Damn.
So everyone would go up from a D6 up to a D8 while you maintained the link.
Coral does a lot of like enchantments and things that are not good in like we're in it kind of thing, you know? So why don't we, but I do have 2 points, or 1 point in linking, so.
Okay. Yeah. So with 1 point linking, that means you're able to link with one other practitioner. That your aptitude limits how many people you can link.
Well, I guess it's just you and me, Gavin.
Okay.
Do I need to roll for that, or
Yes.
just?
So you need to roll your spell die of a d6, your ceremonial die of a d6 against that d4. So you need one of those to be higher than a 4.
Oh, sorry, Gavin. That was a 1. So no.
A 1 and a what else?
4 and a 1.
A 4. No. If you rolled a 4 and a 1 on your other 2 dice, you just have to meet to beat.
Oh, then we're good.
All right.
Sorry.
It's a consequence. So, Gavin, your spell die and Coral, you both have now a D8 for your spell die. For your consequence, though, however, I'm going to say that because whenever you maintain a link like this and to keep it concentrated, you have a thing called constant imposition. Constant imposition is something that is like constantly affecting you and putting pressure on you, which just means all your future rolls are +1 imposition done. However, for your consequence, I'm going to say right now, like, that's all you can do. You're maintaining that link. It was like really something about Gavin. It was just tough to get that link going. So you can hold on to that. And Gavin,
that makes sense.
Yeah, Gavin, you feel your magical powers bolstered a bit. Coral, what does that look like? I'm curious what your link to Gavin looks like.
I think I'm standing in front of my shop and I pick up what looks like a bath bomb, but it's actually just salt. And I just huck it at Gavin and hit him in the head. And I'm just like, get out there, city boy.
Bam! Ah! So Gavin, you've just been rocked in the head by a ball of salt.
I'm connected now.
I'd take that for Coral, that's fine.
So these fireworks, the next box is about to go off.
So Gavin has like this ratty old backpack on their back, and they kind of just reach into it and just grab the first thing that they can find. So do I roll my enchantment for that?
Are you going to be using your special ability?
Yeah.
Okay.
Those items that we talked about.
Yeah, so Gavin is going to use one of their special abilities. I think it's called I've Got Just the Thing.
Yeah, that sounds right. It's just not on my sheet.
Look on the third column. Read the first special ability.
Always prepared.
Always prepared. There it is. Read it for everybody. So,
once per witching hour for 3 stress, you produce an enchanted item that your practitioner had prepared ahead of the scene. After the scene has ended, the enchanted item loses its functionality. Does not require a roll.
There you go. So what you'll do is mark 3 stress in that middle column.
Okay.
The bottom. So already Gavin is stressed out. So all your future
I just got hit in
things.
the head.
Yeah. Oh, what is this enchanted item that Gavin just for some reason made and shoved into his backpack?
Anything I want it to be.
Yeah.
Thinking it's some kind of like percussive device.
Okay.
So like maybe it can land and push things out towards the water, like away from the crowd.
Okay. So like push all the fireworks out into the ocean.
Or at least the ones that are starting to light on fire.
Okay.
I'll just try to aim in that direction.
All right. So you don't have to roll. This thing just works.
Get those shadows.
So, boom, it lands and boom, busts a bunch of the boxes out into the water. You clear out a big chunk of them. It looks like everything's fine. There's, the few that went off into the air. And as the like little motes of those explosives start hitting the ground, they each land. And they still seem to be kind of like not on fire, like like a spark, like you would imagine. They kind of float down in this very eerie movement, and each land and start to spread out, pool out. And for where each one of them lands, a figure rises up. You see a ghostly blue and purple and swirling British Revolutionary soldier stand up. And then an American Revolutionary soldier stands up as you all witness this start of a battle from however many hundreds of years ago rise up. But none of them seem to care about each other. They all turn around to the living. And you see one pull back and try to go and spear some unsuspecting person. And this ghost spear goes out. Ugh, that got my throat.
I absolutely am gonna, like, there's like a moment comes over Vinny that is truly like primal and just evolutionary in terms of like reaction, and it's not even like a thinking thing. It's just somebody's about to get bayoneted and I have to react. And so I think I like immediately start heading in that direction, like sprinting closer, and I'm going to do literal finger guns. So I'm going to just taking my hand like this. I make the sound myself. The magic, that's not magic at all. That's just me going, which is not how a pistol, it doesn't even matter. Just like there's no reference. It's just like based on the stories of old video games past or something. So it's just
right.
All right. And I just am going to finger guns this soldier ghost.
Okay.
I want to do a quick reaction. Like, so these things I feel like are happening at the exact same time. Ace just kind of puts out his hand and wants to like cast a protection bubble over the guy that the soldier's going for.
Okay. Yeah, so at the same time. So we'll start with Justin, and we'll do Kay, so that but they're happening simultaneously. Okay. All right, go Vinny. So how these things work? I'm just going to establish at the top, all of these ghosts are a D8 in difficulty, which means anything y'all ever do with these ghosts, just know that your imposition dies at D8, and we can, unless something changes. But right now, that's what y'all are doing.
Roger that.
Okay. What magic are you using?
I would love, I think because it's so guttural in the response time, and like it's not necessarily something that Vinny is planning or like strategizing, whereas the bubble on the fireworks was very much like I think this will work. This is like just I'm going knee-jerk reaction. So I think it's hex and specifically death.
Okay, you're just doing straight death magic. Okay.
Yeah.
I will say that might not be as effective because it's a spirit. Valid. You will do something, but it might not completely discorporate it.
Okay, yeah.
But you will at least probably protect. You'll know that you'll at least knock the thing from hurting the person, but you're probably not going to completely. But like you're saying, this is just your gut reaction.
It's just happening, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm hip firing, so to speak.
Yeah. This is very much like cool. Ghostbusters looking ghosts, by the way. You know what I mean? Like,
so I have 2 aptitude in death, so the D8 becomes a D4. Okay, and then magic dice is spell die is a 6. Okay, nailed it. A 1 on the D4.
Okay,
and then a 4 and a 6.
Cool. Because also, conversely, there are wicked wins. So if you max out on the other 2 dice and get a minimum on your imposition, yeah. But you're successful. This thing goes, it looks like it's about to bayonet some poor person, and it gets boom, spun off. You all see like a bit of like its ectoplasmic energy get blown away, but it's now just kind of like perpetually in motion, hanging out from its body, just like ghostly bits of viscera and ghostly meat, just kind of like now floating in the air behind this thing. And it turns to you as you've definitely gotten its attention, and it's starting to rise up, like pull up its
quickly reloading
gun.
as if it were a musket.
So at the same time, you're going to protect this citizen, Ace. So whenever you cast protection magic, you choose at the beginning, it's either going to be magical or physical protection when you cast it. In this case, magical would probably be, because these are spiritual beings.
Yeah. So my hex die is a d6, my spell die is a d6, and I have 2 at points in protection, so
Okay.
the d8 goes down to a d4, correct?
Yes, you are correct.
Well, I did not succeed even a little bit. My my imposition die is a 3, and both my d6s were a 2.
Oh no! You get an experience point for your failure. You go to cast out this protection magic, this spiritual magic. Describe to me what that looks like coming from Ace.
I think it's just like an orb that kind of comes out of his hand, and it's like a bluish color.
Okay.
And it's an orb that's trying to surround this person, but obviously does not do that.
The person, all they see is a ghost rise up, tries to stab them, its shoulder gets blown out, and then they see a blue orb flying towards them, and they duck. That orb flies past it, and there is what looks like a cannoneer is rising up, and it grabs the orb and starts to stuff it into its cannon and begins to load the cannon as if that's a cannonball.
Granted, I have no idea if Coral May can actually see this, but I think that she would.
Oh yeah, you all see. Yeah, this is right outside your shop at this point.
Yeah, I don't want to play favorites, but I do think Vinny the Mouth is my favorite of all my stranger children. I think Coral May is going to run up with. Do y'all have salt guns for killing bugs?
I'm familiar with the. Yeah.
She's going to run up with one of those that is packed full of salt and sand and other things. Magical crystal bits, and is just going to try to take aim at the fucking cannoneer, because you can't fire a cannon if you're dead, even if you're a...
That's true. So because of the link you have, I'm going to say and because of your consequence, this is going to be increased by 2 die levels to do this. Because if you want to maintain that link with Gavin, if you want to drop the link, it'll just be a D8. Otherwise, you're looking at a D12 to, I guess, cleanse. Is that what you're trying to do?
Yeah, I'm trying to do cleansing, which I have a 2d6 in folk, and or I have a 1d6 in folk, and then I have 1d6 in cleansing, which takes it up to a D8, right?
How many points in cleansing do you have?
2.
2? Yeah, so it'd bring it back down to a D8. Correct. So
I'm going to drop the link with Gavin. I forgot that Gavin's like a tool guy.
Gavin's such a tool.
Such a tool.
Whoa. It's true.
I just mean you don't need my help. You have your backpack stuff.
Accurate.
Okay, so you're
But I
gonna
always
drop
need
it.
help.
Yeah. Okay, so you're rolling. In that case, that D8 would drop to a D4.
Oh, okay.
Since you're dropping the link.
Well, that's good, because my 2d6s, I rolled a 1 and a 3, so...
Let's see what that 4 does.
Let's see what that 4 does.
Okay. Come on, 1d4. Come on. 2 on the 1d4.
Okay, so success with consequences.
Yay!
You come up and boom, just slam through that that cannoner. You all see this spirit just absolutely disintegrate, dissipate. What you weren't expecting and weren't paying attention to as you're running up, because you're kind of like dropping that link, you pull up that salt gun. You all see the salt and the crystals just evaporate this entity. Was another soldier comes up behind you and boom, gets a shot off. This spiritual energy rips through Coral, and it's like,
On Founder's Day.
we got 4 days out from Patriots Day.
Grandma.
But it's cold, right? It's not like the hot feel of a bullet ripping through. You don't even, just kind of all of a sudden it's like this cold energy, like a ghost passing through you. Goes out. And I need you to put, you have damage now. You're going to take some damage. And if you look on the first column, the very bottom, there is the damage tracker. Each character has essentially 6 damage boxes. 3 minor wounds, 2 medium, and 1 major wound. We are going to fill in those boxes as you take that. You can write in or type in what I'm going to tell you. Because the reason why we want to be specific is those things may be relevant. Like if you wrench your shoulder and then have to climb later, that may be relevant to your imposition rolls later. Climbing with your hurt shoulder. Your character only dies when you have all your boxes filled and I tell you to take more damage. Once you have to write in damage but have no box to fill in, that's when a character ceases to be. The other thing I want to point out is for each column that you fill up, your aptitude gets lowered. Your available aptitude. So if you have all 3 minor wounds filled in, you have a -1 to aptitude. If you have all medium wounds filled in, you have a -2. And the major has 1 box. You take a major wound, you have a -3 to all aptitude. So keep that in mind. But these are a D8. I'm going to give you a single medium wound. So no effect to you right now. But just put spirit bullet hole as like almost like a bit of your spiritual energy is leaking out through this open wound. You all see like, the glow, the blue glow. It's smoking up out of Carol. Ugh. Let's go to Benjamin. You haven't done anything in a minute.
I think I've just been like kind of closed off for a second as like I'm like, oh no, Dad's gonna be so mad.
You look over when you say that. Your dad is pushing people out of the way and seems to be pushing people into soldiers to get himself to safety. As you think that and look over.
All right. So I'm gonna just look. It's that slow like realization of what's really going on as I kind of lock in. What side of the war is the soldier who shot Coral?
It would be a British.
British?
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. I can talk to a British person. So what I want to do is I want to, and I'm hoping it goes with kind of my Crypt like spirits power.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is I would like to like kind of reach my hand out and be like, stand down, soldier. These civilians need protection, and kind of like point him towards his conflicting soldiers.
Yeah, so you're pointing to an American revolutionary soldier.
Sounds awful. I don't like that, but yes.
Yeah. Which, for those watching and listening, our characters post Night of the Open Grave, things have changed a bit with the world. and they currently live in the place called the Republic of Canada. So this is even more ancient history to y'all. This is the British against the Americans, which, yes, happened in this part of the world, but a lot of y'all have lost context, even kind of what that means for being in the Republic of Canada. So you're just like, yeah, that British guy, get him. It's a D8.
D8. All right, so since I have a point in spirits, that's a D6.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Correct.
cool. All right, so it is basically just rolling 3 6s. All right, fantastic. I have a 1 on my opposition dice, and I rolled a 4 and a 2 for mine.
Full success. Yes, sir. Turns around, boom, and fires off and takes out one of the American Revolutionary soldiers who had just like pounced on top of this citizen. And you all were like watching as its face began to elongate and open, was beginning to suck out. You saw like that person's, this citizen's face begin, like their soul face lift up out of their body as this ghost was beginning to draw it out. And he, boom, and saves this other person. There's probably still like a handful of these ghosts around. I think we are between Ace and Gavin. Who would like to go next?
How many of these guys are there?
There's like a dozen still. And they're like, you know, you
That's
hear
like
people.
a lot.
Yeah, you hear people screaming as they're shooting wildly, pulling out knives. Again, they're now starting to get closer and seem to be like ghostly, like beginning to drain people.
All right, how do I use my like cleansing thing?
Sure. You just say, I would like to cleanse one of these spirits.
I would like to definitely cleanse one of these spirits.
Okay.
Let's do that.
So here's something I would like to make really apparent. You don't have to do just one at a time, right? If you do just one, the D8 is your imposition. We know that. If you'd like to say, hey, I want to get rid of all of them now. I want to do it all in one swoop. All that means is your imposition gets harder.
Okay. Am I able to like combine a skill with that?
No, just your magic.
Okay.
What skill were you thinking of? Because Gavin's skills are hilarious, and I just want to...
I'll make you proud, damn it.
I'll make you proud. Okay. I'll make you proud, damn it. Who are you trying to make proud? I'm curious.
Well, Coral, she just got shot in the face. Or she just got shot somewhere. She hit me in the face.
You know what? I'll go ahead and give you... Are you gonna try to do the whole group? Or are you gonna try to just do one?
Just whoever's closest to her.
Okay. Because of I'll make you proud, I'll give you an extra lowering to the imposition die.
Okay. So what do I...
It's a D8 for to affect a creature or to affect these spirits.
Work.
How much do you have in cleansing?
2.
2. So you lower it to a D4. But this is the first time I get one of these. But because I gave you one for I'll make you proud, damn it, you're gonna roll with advantage. So anytime that you can lower the imposition lower than a D4, you're now rolling with advantage.
Okay.
All that means is this is one of the few times you're rolling more than 3 dice. So you're gonna roll 4 dice.
Okay.
So 2d6.
Okay.
You're rolling against 2d4.
Okay.
You're gonna take the lower of the D4 values as your imposition.
There's a 1.
Okay.
And then my 2d6s are a 3 and a 5.
All right, full success. What does it look like when you cleanse this creature? Yeah. How do you cleanse this spirit?
That's a great question. I was hoping you'd tell me.
I can if you want.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay. Trying to think of Gavin with like Gavin.
Oh, there's nothing subtle about it, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. You know what I think I see Gavin as we've talked about it, is the Goonies the kid with all the gadgets, since you're like kind of an
Dana?
enchanting. Yeah. So you all see Gavin run up and reach into their backpack and pull out a Nintendo Power Glove.
Shit.
And points
Vinny
their
loses.
points their hand at it and clack clack clack, like starts pressing buttons in, it's ABB ACAB up down start select kind of a sequence, and this energy shoots out from the glove, wraps around the entity and pulls it into the glove, and you see that like the charged energy as it like dissipates the ghost within the glove itself. As a final little bit is the A and the B get circled. Okay. There you go, Gavin.
Yeah. That's for you, Coral.
I think at a certain point, Vinny sees this and just starts yelling like, "Combo move!" Just like different things.
Gavin, that's why you're my second favorite.
I'll take it.
Just like your
Second
father. I know you're his only son, but he's always saying that. He's always like, you're my second favorite child.
Oh,
God.
ouch.
Thanks.
That's
Peach
brutal.
Grandma.
Sorry for
That
that.
is brutal.
It just seemed like something your father would say.
Probably.
It's canon now.
I was wondering first if Vinny wanted to link with Ace and we can do some spirit magic to see how many we can get at once. So that way we can up our imposition. It'll up our imposition die, but if we link, it'll up our spell die.
Yeah. So there's two different ways you could go about doing this. You could do the linking to do the spell die. There's also the help action. To help with another player, say if Vinny's like, I'm going to do a big cleansing. How much aptitude in cleansing does Vinny have?
Oh, Vinny has none.
None. Okay.
I have 2 in spirits, but
Oh, so, well, you could do this. Spirits could just at least calm them down. They wouldn't leave, but maybe they would stop fighting. So spirits is like your ability, like what Benjamin did. I'm going to calm the spirits, because right now, you would all probably know at this point, like after this whole thing, and you're trying to like, okay, really what's happening, especially Benjamin, because you've got the academic kind of side of things. These spirits have been ripped from wherever they were, plopped back into reality, and there's just kind of this go, 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 go. They're just kind of working on instinct, what was happening when they died, because there's, whenever person dies, especially in a very tragic way like this in a battle, that energy has stuck around and it's just pouring back into reality. So what you could potentially do is like, okay, I need to calm these spirits. So if that's what you want to do, you could do that. And then cleansing is to send them back to beyond the crypt door kind of a situation. So if you wanted to go about that, you could do that. And then if someone wants to help, they would have to have as much aptitude as you in spirits to add to the reduction in imposition. They would give you 1 extra imposition decrease.
okay.
If someone doesn't equal your aptitude, they can spend stress to meet the deficit. So
Got it.
I know that was a lot, but I hope that made some sense as to
So,
the
Ace,
different
what are you
ways
thinking?
We can link and then calm the spirits, because I think Oral may have some cleansing abilities, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, if we can get them calm, then everyone else can get them gone.
Okay.
Incredible. Let's do it.
All right, so Ace is going to link with Vincenzo. What does linking look like from Ace to someone else?
I think from Ace to Vinny in particular, because we've known each other. We have this like rivalry, not rivalry going on of where we just push each other to do better, basically. So I think our magic linking is very like inviting to one another. Like they kind of like, at least Ace's magic will kind of shift color because his magic is normally a blue to whatever Vinny's magic kind of looks like.
Kind of like
and yeah, it's just
greens.
like a tether. Yeah, it's like just a little tether.
All right.
Incredible.
So your imposition's a D6.
2d4, then my spell die, which is a d6. Okay. The 2 on my imposition die, and then a 2 and a 1. So, partial success?
Partial success. Okay. You're able to link up, and just so you know, you have the constant imposition for maintaining the leak, but now both of you have a D8 in your spell. You were focused on linking in with Vinny. When Vinny, you see poor Ace, this ghost jump on Ace's back. This little tiny American revolutionary soldier jumps on this Ace's broad back and begins to suck out some of your energy. And you're also going to take a medium wound. But, it's kind of like, go, as that's being drained out of you. So just put drained energy. Then we're going to jump over to Vinny.
Okay. The magical tether connecting Vinny and Ace. I think at its like nexus point, like where they actually meet, it's just the energy is like in the shape of like a predator handshake. Just both of our energies just kind of broing it up. And then like, so I'm going to feel this surge from the link, and I think my voice kind of like echoes out like it's made like a megaphone.
Yeah.
And I just, using my hands to do some like magic sort of symbols, I go, "Hey, all you ghosts, cut it out." I'm just gonna try and get them to all chill out.
Okay. Because of the size at which you're doing this is where we get to introduce the new mechanic called irresistible imposition. There are times when you're going to be doing magic at such a high level, at such big sweeping things. There is just some amount of imposition that you cannot resist. So I'm going to call this how I would phrase it is a D10 irresistible 1. Okay. All that means is you have to have at least 2 aptitude to start lowering it down.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
And that does make sense. So I have 2 in spirits.
So you would lower it to a D8.
Okay. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you have a D8 spell die now as well.
Spell die. Okay.
And then I would also like to point out you have stress as well. You still have
I absolutely do. You're right.
You could spend stress to lower it further if you would like.
Yeah, I think I'm stressed. Let's do it.
Okay. How much would you like to spend?
Each stress point reduces it
1
by
die.
Another die type.
Yeah.
Okay. Say less. Let's do 2 stress points.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to help him or help them, yes. You definitely they would spend 2, you would help dropping it by a third point. And I think that gets you all to a D4.
Should go, because right now it's at a D8. If I spend 2, it goes.
Oh,
D6
it would get you to an
4.
advantage if Benjamin helped.
I might want to save it for the cleansing
when we try and get them, cleansed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll just take the 2 points. I appreciate it. I think there's a moment when I'm doing the whole thing where there's like a slow-mo period when like the camera kind of I become fuzzy and it moves past me and you see Benjamin seeing this from a distance. The music changes. There's like a missed opportunity. Okay, so now it is with 2 stress, it becomes a D4.
Yeah.
Sick. Oh, wow. Okay. Thank goodness we lowered it because it was a 3 on the imposition and the highest I got was a 3 and a 1.
Oh, a success with it.
I need it. Yeah.
Success with consequence. All of the ghosts like calm down, like, and they seem to kind of go in this like daze like trance. Your consequence, because you just you did that big out there, and you feel this kind of slight like buckle to your knees. For the remainder of the scene, your crypt die is going to be lowered by 1 die level. Just for the remainder of this scene.
Got it.
Because you just like spent so much to try to get that out. But they are all
Jesus.
now, even the one on Ace's back like slips off. Who all would like to partake in trying to now send these back home? I think Coral. Benjamin, would you as well?
Absolutely.
Gavin, would you like to join in on the cleansing?
Might as well.
All right. Who's going to be do you want to each individually roll or like help one person and do one roll?
I think
I
Coral's
have
like
a lot
the
of points
big,
in cleansing.
the big
Didn't wanna,
cleanser.
be like, me,
Yeah.
Okay.
but
Okay. No,
But,
I mean that's
I know my role. I know the cleanser's there, so I'm like, let's
Gavin, how much do you have in cleansing?
2.
2. So you'd be able to help Coral without having to spend anything, and I think then Ben, you only have 1 point in cleansing.
Actually, I don't have 80 points in cleansing.
So you'd have to spend 2 stress in order to help Coral.
Look, okay. Could I use the soldier that I have to kind of like coax him to tell all the others to stand down and kind of use a
All right, yeah.
spirit on that help, I guess?
I'll say with that, let's go ahead and just I'll give the reduction
thank you, Ben.
Yes.
This is why you're my.
for that.
This is
So-
why you are potentially my 3rd favorite. Also, because of the other thing that we do together.
Yes, the other thing.
Yeah,
That's not ominous at all.
well, even I'm kind of like, what is the other thing? That gives you in total 4 reduction on this, which it's only a D8 to begin with, so you're rolling with advantage on this roll. So that means your spell die a D6 plus your cleansing, which is a D8, folk die is a D8, versus 2D4.
Okay, that's a 5 on. I have a 2 on the D6, a 3 on the D8. So let's see.
2 and 3. Okay.
Ew. Oh boy. Those
What's
were
the-
2 3s on the D4s.
It's a success with consequence. So your 2 and your 3, and then you rolled 2 3s. So because it's meat to beat, the 1 die that was a 3 overcomes the imposition. It's just the 2 that gets what I say chewed up, gets eaten by the imposition. In prior editions of this game, yes, we used to add the values. Now it's just we're just looking
Yes.
at the number on the
That
dice.
is why
That's all we're
I
worried
have
about.
trouble following directions, because I played the previous version of this. That's why.
Yes.
Not because of my inability
Yes.
to pay attention.
We're all good. All of these entities slip away. The one on the wound in you these things drain away and go back, and you feel a bit of yourself get taken from that wound.
I really gotta stop cleansing ghosts with cigarettes.
And let's all keep that as a note for ourselves for a later date.
It's immediately.
Oh, yeah. So all of this now has calmed down. Fireworks, have dissipated thanks to the bomb from Gavin. People are starting to, tend to check on their friends and their family. And up from behind a garbage can, one of those tin metal garbage cans, Mayor Gideon steps up. It good job, everybody. I knew I could count on you all to take care of things.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Now I gotta figure out what's going on. How I'm gonna fix this sign. This is gonna set me back days, just absolute days. Hard work. That's gonna set me back. Boy, son, come here.
Yes, father. He just like scampers over.
I'm going to need you to set up a small task force to figure out how we can secure more funds to fix this, and I need more fireworks, obviously, to fix everything here. This is way too much money wasted.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Hey, you're the one that ruined all my fireworks. You, come here.
I did nothing of the sort.
I saw you throw a bomb in the middle of the stage.
I saw it too, father.
This is why I don't pay taxes.
Like, Ace is not the smartest guy, but he's just like looking back and forth between the rest of the people here like, this is weird, right? Like, he wants more fireworks?
I mean, what's a Patriot Day without fireworks?
Yeah.
I got rid of a bunch of ghosts for you, so you're welcome, actually.
Yeah, that was a weird one, wasn't it? I'm not sure why the ghost cared so much about fireworks.
Yeah, why did the ghost show up when the fireworks sort of hit the beach there?
I don't know. I'm not one of them magic
I'm not asking you. I'm not asking you.
Wait!
Can we ask?
Turn towards Coral May. What do you...
Can we ask where you got these fireworks at? Like,
Yeah, it was a distributor.
Well, we switched distributors. We're now using, for this one, I needed something bigger, so I made a deal with Walton's Curios.
Walton's Curios.
You all know Walton's Curios. It is the largest now, like, corporate entity that deals in not just mundane goods, but magical goods as well. So I would even say, like, Coral, you have, like, you probably, my understanding, I think you pride yourself in your crystals and the quality, and even though, your outward appearance looks like someone who probably doesn't care.
I do cut the salt that I sell with sand, but it works just as good. I've tested it.
Yeah. Exactly. Whereas Walton is like the lowest quality everything. Probably a lot of their crystals may even be synthetic.
So I've never heard of such a thing, aside from the ones that magic synthesizes in caves.
He goes, but I've got a contract with them, so I really need that quality and those fireworks.
next time you may want to just double check the fireworks they're giving you, because those just created all of those ghosts when they hit the ground.
Nonsense. That couldn't be true.
Okay.
Where exactly do
eyes
the fireworks?
Well, of course my eyes work. There's a big explosion.
Mayor, where do the fireworks take off? Where's the launch point? Where
right
are they
here.
gonna? I guess also where are they gonna land?
No. Well, they should have been higher in the air, but we're gonna do this great exposit. A great exhibit. We're gonna put them out on boats. I think Sheila Morrison's gonna help me get them out there, and we're gonna put them on the boats. And wait, no, she said no. She said no. That's right. That's right. I think I got a new guy, Opie's Fisheries. They're gonna get my fireworks out there, and they're gonna shoot them up into the sky out over the ocean. It's gonna be great. We're all gonna sit here on the beach, or not on the beach. You can sit at the beach.
Is there someone else we can talk to?
What do you got problems with me?
Yeah, you got problems with my dad?
Gavin. Let's show some respect to the mayor by continuing to not listen as he speaks.
All right. Sorry.
Now, Mayor, you were talking about something, assuredly.
Yeah, do we get so we're gonna get that new company, Opie's Fisheries. Great guys. They're gonna come in, set everything up.
Okay, so hey Benjamin, can I talk to you for a second over here?
I didn't even know you were here. What?
Yeah,
What?
you didn't see me doing the whole
Your eyes were.
ghost?
No, there was. What do you want, Vinny?
I throw an arm around, very buddy, throw an arm around Benjamin and start sort of just leading like 5-10 feet away, not even that far. And then I'm just walking and talking, and I'm like, hey, so Benjamin, how much do you know about these this Walton and this Opie fisheries? Like, have you met them before? Did you help your dad with that? Anything?
I think like as we're walking further and further away from my dad, you see my whole like yeah, like kind of keep dropping, like it's like a radius thing. The closer I am to my dad, the more I am my dad. Yeah, would I know anything about either of those?
I think you have a relevant skill actually.
Firework
Would be
making.
Town history.
Firework making. Let's see. Where are you? Public relations is actually the one
Nice.
that I think fits better here. So like, what do you know about things going on? Basically, it's like, what do I know about my dad's, I would say networking or public relations, right?
Mhm.
What do you know what's going on with your dad's business and business side of being the mayor? And I'm gonna say it's a D6. Since you're so close to what's happening. And I would say, Coral, you have gossip, right? In town history. Those, what do you, if you're aware of this kind of question and line of questioning, you may have also heard some things going, scuttlebutt of the town.
All right. You said it was a D6, right?
Yes.
All right. So, the opposition die, I got a 1, and then I got like max rolls on the other one, so I got a 6 and a 4.
Okay. Yeah, so full success. What you know is that for the longest time, Sheila Morrison is the head and owner and operator of Fran's fishing fleet. They were the biggest fishery here in Point Pleasant. If you were getting lobsters, clams, like that's part of one of y'all's big exports. You're known for your apple pie, but like what really keeps this town sustained is the fishing. But there seemed to be some weird, maybe a fallout, or for whatever reason, your dad, like last minute, switched fireworks manufacturing and the fishing company. to Opie's Fisheries and Walton's Curios.
Yeah. So, exposition, Vinny.
I've heard of
Trying to
that.
think.
Okay.
But yeah, so they're last minute, and he seems pretty stressed out. Like maybe it wasn't totally his decision to make these changes.
Yeah, I feed you that information and he's just kind of been very on edge recently. I know you guys don't like my dad to begin with, but like even
No,
now,
who said that? Who said that?
Vinny, you don't gotta tell me. I can see it in your eyes that you don't like my dad.
Well, I don't know what to say to that, so I will just not say anything
It's probably
and
for
move
best,
the subject along. So, I mean, of course your dad's stressed. I mean, that makes total sense. Your Patriots Day right around the corner, bunch of fireworks go off, sign falls down.
I should have used magic, Vinny. I went to school for magic and I used
Why
my
didn't you
hands.
use magic?
I got nervous. My
Well,
dad
hey,
threw me
that's
in
understandable.
there. Yeah.
He
I got
literally did. He pushed you right into it.
He grabbed my cool blazer and threw me into just panic.
I've been meaning to say I like the elbow pads.
Thank you. It was a choice. It was a choice. I'm glad you like them because I was very 50-50.
That well, keep it up. Oh, I think that's. Yep, that's some. Oh, yep, okay. And I just pretend like Coral May is calling me and go back that direction at a certain point. But
Yeah,
there is like
I think my dad's calling me.
a very slight, like, before I do that, so it's not just like I'm literally going from 100 miles per hour to 0. There is as I like release my arm from around Benjamin's shoulder, there's a very brief, like, a little shoulder squeeze moment. And then I go back to Coral May.
Nice. As you're coming back to the group, the mayor Gideon is talking to Gavin. So what you got? Really think that those things you make, maybe you can make something to make this whole thing stronger? So my sign doesn't fall next time. Can you work on something like that instead of blowing things up? Maybe you can fix things, reinforce things.
The things that was blowing up was already about to blow up.
Yeah,
They
but
were
those are
literally on fire.
they were my fireworks. And those are really expensive fireworks. I don't want to have to like levy more taxes on your family. I don't want to have to put pressure on them to,
that would suck.
So maybe you do something for me and I'll forget about that you blew up my fireworks.
Forget about that I saved the town's ass just now with these ghosts? Is what you meant to say, right?
Well, I didn't see that, so I don't know anything about that. So, but I did see you blow up my fireworks, so we're going to deal with that.
I just look at the mayor and I just go, maybe you should have kept your fireworks in a safe spot, not out in the middle of the town 4 days before you need them.
We were going to set them up.
You aren't even setting them up here. You're setting them up on boats.
We're getting them ready to put on the boats. I got to wait.
That's some real shit right there.
That Opie's Fisheries.
No, that tracks.
Yeah, the Opie's Fisheries, they've been busy out doing their thing. Whatever fishing people do. I don't know.
I suspect it's fishing.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it.
Is anyone asking about the shadows in the water and how the fireworks are going to affect them?
I thought about it, but
I'm
I
asking
figured,
it in my head.
Yeah, in my head, I fear we shouldn't ask the mayor, because
if there's probably anybody that
Yeah, I
would
was gonna
know,
say,
it would be Sheila.
children,
Right. Because
my
of
two
Yeah.
crystal babies, Ben, and of course Beach Stranger. Ace, you would be Beach Stranger because I don't think we've ever met.
I think we have met, but it's us just doing physical competitions on the beach. We've never properly met.
Of course, the strong Beach Stranger, who I routinely race. The mayor was talking for a long time, and now I'm going to go talk to someone else. And then I come with me. And then I'm
Okay.
I feel like just little ducklings, we fall in line with Coral May. We're just like, okay.
Immediately, no question.
So everybody's going up to Sheila's.
I've known her since she
Yeah.
was a twinkle in Tracy's eye. Or what was the actual fishing company name?
Fran's. Let me
I've
double
known
check. Yeah, Fran's
Yeah.
Fishing Fleet.
Yeah, I've known Sheila
Yeah,
since she
Sheila
was a
took over for
twinkle in
Fran.
Fran's eye.
It does take a while. Does anybody would have a vehicle, you think?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I bust
Oh,
out a
good.
Razor scooter.
Another thing about Ben, you probably have like a little town car.
I would imagine like the Gideons are the only people with cars in this.
Yeah,
town.
there's a few people here and there. Well, you are compared to most of the like Midwest, which is completely taken out, what they call the dead spaces. A lot of people in those towns that are made little settlements, yeah, they're back to kind of like, they're pulling cars with horses kind of thing. Like they've chopped off the front ends of trucks and are pulling, that kind of thing. But you're in an East Coast town within a country. We established that you're of about 12,000 people. So there's actually probably enough like activity going on that you have a fair number of vehicles. Most of your streets are really, well taken care of. As much as Mayor Gideon probably uses taxes improperly, there's a few, his street perfectly
I think
paved.
Coral would have a van, but I don't think you guys like getting in the van with Coral. She doesn't let anyone else drive it and is not good at like driving in that like old person can't take my license kind of way.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's like the only time where a bunch of younger people are actively fighting not to get the shotgun seat.
Like, no, thank you. I don't want to lose my life today. So everybody can get into the town car. As you're making your way there, you see Ace. I think you're the one who would catch this. As you're on the beach, you see Hank Drevin, a leader of the Devil's Trident biker gang. And his crew were all kind of watching. And when you catch eyes with him, he does like this motion, like, rev up, and all you then hear, all the motorcycle engines kick up. And there are only about like 6 of them, 5 or 6, but they take off. They seem to be heading off after watching this entire exchange. They didn't seem to help with the ghosts or anything. They were probably watching. You jump in the town car, however, and head off to Sheila's.
What was the leader of the bike gang? What was his Hank what?
Drevin. Drevan. The Devil's
What was the name of-
Trident.
I feel like I'm slowly morphing into just this idea of just like a dumpster wizard.
I love it though.
Slowly?
I mean, you're a new wizard, right?
Our very first thing
Yeah.
was you take
Slowly.
Oh no, slowly in terms of like when the character was first concepted versus
What's happening?
session 1. So much has happened.
How many
where it's
times do
like-
you have an idea, and then when the character first opens their mouth and starts playing, it's like, well, that's not what I had planned, but this is where we're going.
What was the opening scene of being like, what is your character doing on the
Boardwalk.
boardwalk? And I was like, there's something so gross about like intentionally going out of your way looking for cigarette butts
Yeah.
And
and
then
being like,
taking it
there's a
from
little
rat.
bit left. And then
I
taking
could-
it from a rat just dying.
What I love is you could have found like, I find one with the pinkest lipstick, circle still on it. Yeah. Perfect.
The rat has the lipstick. Perfect. So now that we the bikers have left, we're heading towards presumably Sheila's, but this means that we're out of that other scene. So now
Yes.
that like negative effect where my crypt die moved down to a D4 is done. So it moves back up, correct?
Yep. That is the end of a scene. So a scene is basically kind of think of it in movie and TV terms. When we're moving to a new location, we're starting a new scene. Definitely. And then also the link that you establish, Ace, are you going to maintain that link or are you going to drop it?
Yeah, we're gonna maintain the link.
Okay.
Ace is a little thrown off by the events that just happened, so he's like, we're gonna stay here until we know we don't need it for sure. Because we don't
Okay.
know what we're walking into.
Perfect. Benjamin, probably I think the businesses in this area well enough. You know the business district, and especially because you have to go out to the docks, and that's where Sheila's is. You drive south, actually. So this area, there is the Point Pleasant Canal that kind of took what was a peninsula that you guys were on and made it something of an island because it cuts her and there's these two bridges. So you go over the canal and down south side of the city where it opens up into a small bay area where a lot of the ships launch from and out into
Wait, Coral is driving the town
the ocean.
car?
What? Did I say
Okay,
Coral
you said
or,
she at some
or
point. I
Benjamin?
was like, I'm driving. Yeah, but okay, so Benjamin.
Did I-
driving
did
the
I
car.
misspeak?
I was like, Benjamin, no.
I feel like we would have voted no. Mistakes are made.
I think where we left off, it was Coral driving Coral's van, and no one wanted to sit in the front seat. 'Cause
Oh,
no,
we
if
are
you
just
guys take the town
canonically
car,
not good at
I'll
driving.
hop in.
is where I think we left, but
Okay. So yeah, everybody's like, no, thank you on the van. That's gonna.
Your van
That
smells
art-
funny.
We all have to put our feet on the ground to get it started. We all push off together. Anyway, and you pull up into this docks, and of course you do some shipping from this area, but it's mostly fishing. What all of you can't, of course, help but notice is that fish smell just washes over everybody, and you see Sheila's old sign, Fran's Fishing Fleet, old, salt worn, but there's a new one just down the way being erected, twice as big, has blue neon, starting like you were all helping stuff out in kind of mid-afternoon. So in the twilight hours, their blue Opie's Fisheries is just blaring out. I would let's see who's super observant. Is anybody in particular more observant than? Well, Gavin, you have a hyperfixation.
That's true.
Maybe you're kind of getting hyperfixated on what the mystery, like what's going on here. And you notice at Opie's Fisheries, down very small at the bottom, you see and read in a Walton's Curios subsidiary.
Walton's what subsidiary?
So Opie's Fisheries is a subsidiary of Walton's Curios. You see like a part of the
Walton's Curios subsidiary.
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 Yes.
I know words.
They belong to the Amazon Municipal.
Heard. Okay.
And you pull up about this night. A lot of the ships are starting to come in from their day of shipping, which means you all get out and you see Sheila pulling people in. She's 45ish, steely, dirty blonde hair pulled up in a really messy bun. She's got the huge boat kind of fishing gear on, big thick pants over a red and black plaid shirt, sleeves pulled up, and by her forearms she has worked boats. She's put in the work, but now she's got her pencil and pad out. She's like, no, that over to the A docks, mackerel to the left, clams to the right. How many times do I have to say this? And she's kind of screaming at people. They're trying to get things unloaded. Doesn't seem to notice y'all at all.
Gavin's going to open up their backpack, take out a Tupperware container, and start eating.
What is Gavin eating?
It looks like it could be mashed potatoes. Who knows?
I was say, I think Coral had a previous
That's what I was gonna say,
relationship
yeah.
with. Yeah.
I was about to say, I like shout out to Sheila, like, Sheila, how's your mother?
Sheila turns around. Oh, Coral, can you help me figure out how to deal with all these boys being just idiots?
If I figured that out, I would have a very different life.
Tell me about it. What's all this? You all bringing these people here for a job?
No.
I got no room.
Oh, you're good. But, you know me, I collect strays.
Yeah, don't you know about it? Hey, give me some of that. She reaches out for your cigarette.
Oh, yeah, I passed it to her.
Yeah. Oh, I quit 3 days ago. She hands it back.
We always end up coming back. So,
Yeah.
there was a bit of an incident downtown. Fireworks, the mayor, something else.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah.
All that noise.
But he mentioned something.
Yeah.
You said that some other jag was doing the boat stuff for the Patriot Day, and I was like, "But what about Sheila?" And then he didn't say, so I decided right from the horse's mouth.
You would think that would he would use me, but nah, he went with brought in those bastards that just moved in. She hooks a thumb towards Opie's Fisheries. I don't know. They always go out every morning. I don't know what they're doing. They don't seem like they know what they're doing.
Did they come back with fish?
No. A bunch of my boys said they was it boat 6? Said they saw them going out there dropping some blue barrels. I don't know. Maybe some magic shit I don't know about. They're doing something with spiritual energies or I don't know. And pulling up spirit fish. I don't know. But yeah, they drop some blue barrels out there. Come back. Not my kind of fishing. I like regular fishing,
Yeah, no, I get that.
Speaking of, where is that boat? Nah. They ain't back yet.
What is that, boat 6? The ones who
Yeah.
told you about the blue barrels?
Yeah, they went out yesterday. The boat 6 goes out pretty far, about the same place that those Opie's guys goes out.
Oh. Interesting. Do you have a way to communicate with them?
Yeah, I can get on them. I can try to get them on the radio. Here, come with me.
Who owns boat 6?
I do.
You
My
do.
boat.
Okay. Got you.
But nah, I mean, my boy Frankie. He's the one that runs boat 6. So I tried it. Let's get him on the horn. Let's go.
All right.
She leads you into her, her office, which is almost a shack kind of a thing. Everything is just wet, like perpetually. Has this layer of salt spray and water on it. She has the windows open. She jumps down on this creaky roller chair. All the stuffing has pretty much been ripped out of it by cigarette smoking rats that are here on the wharf. She rolls over. Hey, Frankie. Come in, Frankie. Ging. So what y'all been up to? Other than playing with fireworks?
That's about it.
I'm glad y'all had a fun morning playing with fireworks.
Played with some fireworks, fought some ghosts,
I
Yeah,
found
no, fun. That's definitely what I call it.
A ghost shot me in the chest, so that's new.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. Frankie, come on in now. Where you at?
It's not like him. Frankie's a good boy. He doesn't not answer the radio.
This is... Hold on. You start... At that point, you hear screaming.
Oh.
Jaya! From people out on the docks. What the... She gets up and races out there.
I'm right after her.
Yeah, you all...
Hooks it.
You run
I
out
stopped
there...
fighting a rat for a cigarette.
When you all rush out there, you see boat 6, because it has a big number on it, but it's on its side, listing into the dock. Giant holes have been just blown out from it, and that same kind of spiritual energy that was surrounding Coral when she got shot is like lifting up out of this thing. And as you're looking at this boat, your attention cannot help but be drawn upward as you see an unnatural storm brewing out in the distance. And that ends session 1.